Hi everyone and welcome back to Grade 12 Maths with Mr. Simons, where we make maths simple and get you exam ready. Right now, today's lesson is on cubic functions. Again, we're looking at supplementary exam where we've given you a drawing, right? But drawing, no equation given. We must be able to find the equation given two stationary or two turning points, right? So let's look at the question. Right, so as I say, pause the question, look at it, see what you can answer, attempt before even I answer it so that you know where you're struggling and what you need to master and re-practice till you know it. Graph of h of x equal minus x cubed plus ax squared plus bx is shown below. A being minus 1 and minus 3,5 and b being 2 and 10. These are the turning points of h, so that's my stationary points. Graph passes through the origin and further cuts the x-axis at C and D. So it passes through the origin. We have another point given to us on the graph, which is 0 and 0. C and D is my other x-intercepts. So first question, we must show that this A and B value is 3 over 2 and 6 for 6 marks. Then they want the average gradient between A and B. So between A and B, as you can see, it's not a total straight line, so therefore we can't say gradient, but average gradient because it's changing. Right? Determine the equation of the tangent h at x equal minus 2. So wherever x minus 2, there's somewhere we have a tangent. Determine the x values of a point of inflection for 3 marks. Then use the graph to determine the values of p for which the equation minus x cubed plus 3 over 2x squared plus 6x plus p equals 0. We have only one real root. So we're going to rearrange this graph so we only have one root. So very important, we will always test equation of a tangent. Somehow, some way, we will test point of inflection. Right? And most of the time we include this root question 1 or 2 or 3 roots for 2 marks. Right? So set pause, see what you can answer. Right? Now I'm going to the solutions. So follow carefully. So show that A equal 3 over 2 and B equal 6. Right, so we're given two stationary points, right? So to find the x value of the stationary points, I assume you know we use the first derivative of the equation, right? And normally we then substitute something in to get the values, right? Or make it equal to 0. So first, h of x is minus x cubed plus ax squared plus bx. So first derivative, h prime x, 3 times negative 1 gives me negative 3. 3 minus 1 gives me 2. 2 times a gives me 2a. 2 minus 1 gives me 1. And 1 times b gives me b. Right, so there 1 mark for the first derivative. So there we got minus 1 when the first derivative was equal to 0. So if I substitute in minus 3 minus 1 squared plus 2a times minus 1 plus b, that equals 0. So minus 1 squared is 1 times negative 3, negative 3. Negative 1 times 2a gives me negative 2a plus b. Make b the subject of formula. If I take minus 3 over, it becomes plus 3. Minus 2a becomes plus 2a, and there's my equation 1. Right, for the second one, I made the first derivative equal to 0. I got a x point at 2. So there, if I substitute 2 in, minus 3 times 2 squared plus 2a times 2 plus b. 2 squared is 4 times negative 3 gives me negative 12. 2 times 2 gives me 4a plus b. Again, if I make b the subject of the formula, I have minus 12 becomes plus 12. Plus 4a becomes minus 4a. Right, so take note, because I had two unknowns, a and b, I have to create two equations. That way I can solve it simultaneously. So there, 2 marks for my substitution and for understanding that the first derivative must be equated equal to 0. So b and b is the same b, so 3 plus 2a then equals 12 minus 4a. Take my a's to the same side, 2a plus 4a would give me 6a. 12 minus the 3, if I bring it over, would give me 9. So a equal 9 divided by 6. But 3 goes in 9 3 times and 3 goes in 6 2 times. So therefore a is 3 over 2. 1 mark for the simplification. Substitute in any one of those two equations. I just went there. 3 over 2. So 3 plus 2 times 3 gives me 6, divided by 2, 3. 3 plus 3 would give me P equal to 6. So they have shown that A is 3 over 2 and P equal to 6. Alright. If you get this question wrong, just know that for the rest of the questions, you can just go right there that A is 3 over 2 and P is 6, because they already told you what it is. Now don't go lose the other marks because you can't find the equation. That's just a small hint for you when you are answering the exam questions, right? Let's look at the next questions. Right, calculate average gradient between A and B for 2 marks. So A is minus 1 minus 3 over 5 and B was 2 and 10. So gradient of AB would be 10 minus 3,5, 2 minus 1. So 10 plus 3,5, 13,5 divided by 3 simplifies to 9 over 2. 1 mark for substitution, 1 mark for answer. 12.3, make sure you understand this process, because later on, if you go through, we also ask this in reverse order, where we give you the equation of the tangent and you must get the equation of the cubic function. So determine the equation of the tangent to h at x minus 2. So I know my equation is minus x cubed plus 3 over 2x squared plus 6x. So to get the gradient of the tangent, I must get the first derivative. So 3 times negative 1, negative 3. 3 minus 1 gives me 2. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 6 divided by 2 would give me 3. 2 minus 1 would give me 1. 1 times 6 gives me 6. 1 minus 1, 0. X to the power 0 falls away. Right, for my point of contact, I substitute always back into the original equation. So I have x minus 2. So that becomes h minus 2 equal minus 2 cubed plus 3 over 2 minus 2 squared plus 6 minus 2. Simplify, that's 2. So my point of contact is negative 2 and 2. For the gradient of the tangent, if I substitute minus 2 in there, it's minus 2 squared, which gives me 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. That would be negative 6 plus 6, which is 0. So the gradient of the tangent is then negative 12. So 1 mark first derivative. Another mark for substituting negative 2 in. 1 mark for getting the gradient of the tangent. Yeah, 1 mark for getting point of contact. So that's 4 marks that I believe if you practice properly, you should get out of 5 marks. Now take note, I prefer this method here on the left, but you can also do it anyway on the right. So whichever way you are more comfortable doing it. So y equal mx plus c, my gradient is negative 12. So m is negative 12x, right? That should reach c there. So then I substitute my point of contact. So there, according to this, x is negative 2 when c is, or not c, when y is 2. So that gives me positive 24, negative 2 times negative 12. Positive 24, if I take it over, negative 24 plus 2 gives me negative 22 for c. So y equal minus 12x minus 22. Or y minus y1 equal m x minus x1. M we know is negative 12. My point of contact, my x value here, negative 2, right? Substitute in, I solve. Take negative 2 over, there 12 times x, 24, or negative 24, plus 2 would give me then negative 22, and we end up with the same answer, right? So, there, that's for determining the equation of the tangent. So as I said, work through it, look through it, do your best, get to understand it. Right, now let's look at the next questions. Determine the x value of the point of inflection of h. So when you see point of inflection, know you're working with second derivative equal to 0. So first derivative was minus 3x squared plus 3x plus 6. If I derive for second time, 2 times negative 3 would give me negative 6x. 1 times 3 would give me 3, and the constant falls away. That there I must equate my first derivative equal to 0. So second mark for that. If I take minus 6 over positive 6, so 3 divided by 6 simplifies to half. So my x value for point of inflection is half. So there, 3 marks. Now 12.5, Did it in the previous exam questions. I'm going to do it again. Use the graph to determine the values of p for which the equation minus x cubed plus 3 over 2x squared plus 6x plus p equals 0 have only one real root for 2 marks. Right, so in short, I have to move this down in such a way that when the graph goes through there, it turns, but it doesn't make contact with the x-axis. So there it's positive 10. To come down, I have to come negative 10 to get to 0, but more than that. Right, so p there, so I'm coming down, would be less than negative 10 because I'm moving down. So if I go less than negative 10, negative 11, it will get there and it doesn't make contact with the x-axis. Or negative 3,5 to get to 0, I have to add 3,5 as I'm going up. So there p greater than 3,5. That way the graph comes down, don't make contact, turns there, and then only goes through t and make contact at one place. So that's what we mean with one real root. If you like the lesson, please like and subscribe. Continue practicing. God bless. I hope it helps you. Please feel free to comment, ask anything, ask for help. I'm here to assist. Right? If I can make you better than me, I know our society would become a better place because we have better logic thinkers. God bless. Bye.